Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my YouTube channel if you're a first visitor. I am really super delighted that you're here. As you can see, I have a super energetic guest here. Today is another episode of Career Conversations, and you know what we do? We speak to professionals who do amazing stuff. We learn about how they do what they do and how we can do what they do. Today I have a beautiful, gorgeous, amazing, calm, intelligent, brilliant,
When you're done, let me know.
globetrotter, world changer.
When you're done, let me know.
Many things, but most importantly, my friend.
Yeah.
Hi, Tola.
Hi, EF.
Introduce yourself to my audience. Sorry, that sounds very deep.
Yes.
Say hi to my audience.
Hi. I'm just living
You know, she's a
through
baby
life,
girl.
through T-Pain's economy,
You know.
and we are thanking the Lord for us.
You know, thank you Jesus for this glow.
Thank the Lord.
Glistening glow.
We thank the Lord.
Glimmery beauty.
It takes all the glory.
You know, hallelujah, praise God. Anyway, today, don't worry, we are not talking about Tola's beauty, but we are going to talk about a lot of dreams by Tola, right? If you're a multimedia person, you work in media, anything that looks like media, either a content creator, content strategist, director, behind the camera, in front of the camera, this is for you.
Yeah. Have you ever had someone in media on your show?
No, actually.
So I'm the first.
Yeah, you're the first media
So the
person.
people that you've been having are more of career.
Yeah, career. Yeah, so marketing, tech, design, product. I think I've had a professional intentional development. Yes, I wanted to also just balance.
And I feel like it makes sense because media is a very, very, very funny space.
Yeah, right. See, guys, we've already started. We started the gist. I hope you have your pen and paper. Okay, great. Tola has done a lot of things, and like I'm too shy to read her profile. Maybe we'll get into it. But tell us something random that people don't know about Tola.
I love Amala. Like,
Oh my God.
Oh my God! Wow!
I think two things that if you want to get me, just get me Amala. And get me ofada rice with
My Jesus.
egg that soaked oil.
Hey,
And
jiggy,
the Amala
jiggy.
shouldn't be from like the top restaurants, just all those ones that have a sprinkle of rudeness, arrogance.
All those very rude women.
Yeah, those
I'm a little lemon. With Ebola.
Sorrow soke mo boy. Yes. Exactly.
Oh
Those
my
ones.
God.
I love Amala so much, and I love black. Black is such a beautiful color. I don't
see
know.
people.
I see black. 10
Wow.
out of 12 outfits are black, definitely. So yeah, those are randoms now.
One of my guests said that we should explore brown. That brown is a beautiful
Brown
color.
trees. So funny thing is, I've been seeing. I think brown, the color brown started to like
Appeal to
get
you?
get in vogue. Actually, last year, beige and amongst
Yeah,
other
beige.
colors.
Oh my God,
And-
yes, I went
But I
to-
think brown is such a beautiful color. It's soft. It has a soft, sweet appeal. You know how those how. You know how the color pink is very loud?
Yeah.
But brown is just,
Calm.
you know, brown feels like all those rich kids that don't like to tell people that they are rich.
Oh my God.
But just,
I've never thought about the color in that exciting way. That's why you need to talk to media people.
but just show
They are
that,
exciting storytellers.
but just show that I'm there. I'm not trying to say anything. You know those people that form, their parents don't have money, but they have money. That's what
brown looks like.
Yeah, very sweet.
So if you're having fashion conundrum, you have 9 out of 10 black outfits. Try a brown.
Yeah, you should actually try brown.
That's exciting. Okay, so let's get into. I mean, we are started learning why we're here because see you doing storytelling. So first, how does it feel to be behind the camera, in front of the camera?
It's weird. I feel like you know when I feel like last time I felt like this was when I was doing an interview at any point in my life because it's so weird.
Yeah.
But only EF can make me do
Yeah,
it. I think
that's-
another time I was in front of the camera was mid this year, and it was because we were shooting an ad, and I needed to talk about the process. So, and I took my lines like a couple of times. But it's funny because I started actually with being in front of the camera.
Yeah,
So,
talk with Tola.
Yeah, so when I
Shout
was
out to us, the OGs.
I know, right?
Hello, my name is Tola Okodugha, and this is Talk with Tola.
When I was in university, I was going to actually, like, what was in my head was I was going to become the next Oprah Winfrey. I was going to do so many
talk
old talk shows.
shows.
And I
Yeah,
finished
I
school and I'm
remember.
like, I'm
Yeah,
like, no, this thing
Shemo,
is
I'm
not
not
for me.
doing
I
it.
beg, I know they do, I know they do, I know they do. And I went behind cameras and I've never come back.
Right, interesting. If you're an OD, you know that I have a YouTube video on career transition, and this is just also a pointer that like you can move from one part of the
Yeah.
career to the another, like without any problem. Okay, so let's talk about career. Your current job title says multimedia strategist.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Interesting.
Please, ma, what do you do every day?
Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Can you see? That's why we bring them here so that they will tell us what we don't know.
What do I do? I think through things and I tell stories. That's what I just do. I cook stories. On my Instagram bio, it says steady cooking up stories because that's what I do on a daily basis. I see something and I'm thinking of how to cook this into a story. Story from live shows, story from ads and commercials. I've dabbled into film a few times. I would say that that's like my basic, my core, but live shows definitely has my heart. And I feel like live shows, because of the adrenaline that pops in at
lot
that
of
point, because
things moving
everything has to
around.
work on par.
Yeah.
And then ads because the details that come into ads, you can shoot a 30 seconds commercial for 2 days and you wonder why I'm shooting a 30 seconds commercial for 2 days, but the detailing of every scene, of every direction, it just makes it very exciting for me. So yeah.
No, I feel like I should have taken questions from the audience. That what ads have you watched that you found exciting? So maybe I'll ask a question on the audience, yeah, but that's exciting. So I want you to just double down on that. Talk us through media as a broad field, and then maybe sections, because some might be watching this and they're an undergraduate or a recent graduate, and maybe because they have a tripod and a camera. I promise you, I'm not shading you. They are looking to get into media. What are the things? What are the divisions, aspects, sectors in media, and what are the things they should be looking at?
I feel like media is very broad and I like it a lot because in media there are content creators, in media there's marketing, in media there's video editing, in media there are editors, in media there are producers, in media there are directors, in media there are even makeup artists.
Yeah,
So I
actually.
feel like media is a very broad space that people just need to find where
Where they
it
fit in.
fits in and what works for them. Because when I actually started, I wanted to, one of the reasons that drove me into producing was because I wanted to know the different parts of media. So
Like the cycle.
the
Where do you
cycle. So
fit in?
I felt like being in front of the camera was limiting me a lot to just knowing how to just speak. But then there is a magic that happens behind. Like right now we are shooting, there is a light, there's a sound, there's the camera, there's so many things that makes this masterpiece. But when people see it, they just see this masterpiece. So that made me just, it took my brain to a different level about how do these puzzles come together. And that's what makes me very exciting and happy, because whenever the puzzles now fit, it's like one idea became this. Do you understand? So those are things about me, and it's just for people to find where they belong. If you're a writer or you write good stories, just start with regards to script writing. If you feel like you're someone that can undo machines, you can learn how to undo a gadget. If you feel like you can put stories together, you could be a video editor. Because to be honest, the same, as much as a director is doing so much, a video editor is actually doing so much, because when you shoot like 10 scenes, that person has to cook it all together into one perfect story. So the industry is quite big. It's just to know what your skills are and where to work around it. If you feel like you can handle so many things with pressure, and you can, I tell people that the job of a producer is almost the same thing as the job of an event planner at an event. So an event planner handles the decorator, handles the food vendor, handles the chair. Do you understand? Handles the makeup artist, handles the band, handles everything. That's the work of a producer. Ensure that everything is coming together perfectly. So, and if you feel like you are someone that can just manage people, ensure that people are eating well, you can also be in welfare in media in a movie. So the media industry, like when you check the end credits of a movie, you see the list of people that, so maybe if someone is even starting, maybe you should just even, and you want to enter the media industry, and you feel like, oh, maybe film is what's doing it for you, you could go and check the end credits of a movie and just say, oh, what works for me? Is it props? Because even at a movie set or whatever set it is, they need a set. So they need a set designer. They need somebody to ensure that, okay, if we want to do and a 1960 movie, what type of sets will make it look very 1960-ish. So that's the good thing about the media industry. I feel like it's a very jealous industry because you can do a lot of things and still call it media. That's why you should also look for how to make one, because there are plenty media industry things that money is not there and they don't like to pay.
I really love how encompassing you've described what what media takes, and I think that one of the things that stood out for me in your response is just watching film credits. So if you're looking to start a career in media, I think that when movie ends, how many of you watch? Is it there are two
No, it's
DC
end.
DC and Marvel?
Yeah.
You know those people that you go cinema,
Then-
they'll now leave. We're like, wait, there's another
yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Yes, I feel like you should know when you go to cinema, when you're watching
Especially if you're
Netflix,
in media.
Prime. If you're looking to get into media, just sit back a bit and just watch those things and see where you fit in. Great, I love that.
And apart from that, so there was something I learned recently. So a friend of mine and I were having a conversation, and it was in a very funny space with regards to his life decisions and where to go next. And he told me that one of the things I helped him to break down and give him direction, not necessarily give him direction, but give him like context to what he wanted to do, was ChatGPT.
Really?
I'm not joking. And what he did was he just like, I mean, this is context, right?
Yeah.
He just put like some of his skills and asked ChatGPT what type of roles will he find in media that will work for
fit
him.
in.
So maybe someone can try that out as well, like different things you could do. And ChatGPT could just recommend, oh, maybe you are skilled in writing, but don't go and follow ChatGPT, but it can be a good headway to start.
No, I love that you said that. When I do career consulting, especially for people just starting a career or doing a career transition, I will put my link in bio, in description. One of the things I actually ask them to do is also take a personality test. And my favorite personality test is 16 personality test, MBTI. When you are done, it doesn't just tell you like your personality makeup, it also tells you like the kind of people you should date and then the kind of career that you should do. Yeah, so you should do that. Great. So let's talk about producing, because you talked a lot about producing. I know that that's one of your fun things to do.
That's what I do.
You know, you've produced is it one or two Love and Life first?
All the Love and Lights first.
Love
is
and
the
Light
third-
Festival.
This year will be the 4th edition.
Right. You should check out Love and Light Festival. You should not miss it. You know, you should not miss this year's one because
Yes.
this will not come at tea. Yeah. Then you've produced Headies.
I did.
That's beautiful. My friend is very humble. Like I used to brag about. I'm like, oh, you have issues about my friend produced Headies. She's produced the last 3 Headies, guys.
Yes,
That's
I
awesome.
did.
2 in Lagos, one in London.
None in US.
One in US.
Atlanta.
International producer. Guys, I brought an international producer to my channel. If you do not like this video, I will show up in your dreams. Great. So I would not say walk me through the process because that would be a very generic question to ask. I would say mention 2 things that were exciting for you, 1 thing that stressed you, and 2 lessons that you learned. I'll take it again. 2 things that were exciting. 1 thing that really stressed you, because I figured out that producing in US might have been more difficult than producing in Nigeria. And then 2 lessons that you learned.
Okay, so 2 things that were exciting. One that comes to mind is working with an international crew. You know, all my life, like prior to then, I had worked with a Nigerian crew. Although I traveled before, I think I'd gone to Cote d'Ivoire, and I can't remember again. But I know that was not the first time. And yeah, I'd worked in Dubai too as well.
Yes, oh my God,
so
I remember.
and so Dubai, that was not. So my Dubai experience was we were Nigerians that went to shoot in Dubai. Right,
Not
necessarily
with the locals over
not
there.
necessarily interacting with the locals then, but that one, the one in the US was the first time that, because not everybody could go them, so it was exciting to work with Americans and their level of technology, the way they even plan and map out things generally was different. Now I wasn't just working with them, I was also leading their team, because and that was another thing that stressed me if I'm going connecting it, because the way they are used to doing what they do. So in Nigeria, you start you stress over everything, but they don't stress. Their time is their time. Once when they say we'll start
rolling at
we'll
9
start
p.m.
rolling, they are rolling at 9 p.m.
p.m.
But also the gadgets that we use. I remember I went to one of their production houses and I entered their warehouse, and
like, Jesus,
and I was,
my Lord.
you know, it was like a child in a candy store.
Wow.
It was so, like, I had adrenaline burst. I remember that I told one of them to take me around
just their jazz,
their
their
jazz.
jazz,
And
yeah.
and then there's this broadcasting bus that we usually use, and I was asking, where is the generator?
Oh my God,
I'm
no!
not
Tola,
joking.
my friend, you did not do that.
We don't use generator here. It's all solar packed. Everything is in. And I'm like, girl. So yeah. So if it's excitement, that was very exciting for me. Just learning through that. But also, what also stressed was working with an international crew and also managing the local crew in Nigeria, because the transmission was still done in Nigeria. So
So
we
things
still
had to
had
be
to.
as synchronized.
Yeah, so we still have to transmit from there, but also locally. I mean,
Yeah, the
it's quite
logistics.
technical
Yeah,
and
I
everything.
understand.
So,
Yeah.
and then let's not forget that US is 6 hours.
Oh my
So at the
God,
time we
that's
were
a time
shooting, people
zone.
were sleeping in Nigeria. So you're calling, hello, hello. But again, that was exciting because it was very different. Another thing that was exciting for me was just even the entire process. To be very honest,
Like,
to yeah, to
I
even
think to replicate for you, and in case you want
yeah,
to tell your story, the fact that you've done it this twice in Nigeria, you've produced it this twice is unique, like is monumental,
yeah,
right?
thank
Take your
you.
flowers. But to now replicate that kind of
Yeah,
excellence internationally, my
yeah,
love,
and
you're
you know,
brilliant.
thank you. I know the difference is also even the little things that we find that is very normal here. It's not normal there. It's even as little as their red carpets. Like in Nigeria,
Guy,
yeah,
how do I show up?
but there they are very coordinated. They're like, okay, so because they managed the red carpet, but we oversaw it, right? Before then, people are like, apply. They do that in Nigeria, yeah, but the how detailed they are is very different from how detailed we
We
are
are
in
in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
Are
So
you sure
yeah,
we are even detailed?
so
Do we have
like
details?
how the person is coming and they're like, okay, you are going here, you are going there. Everything was just very organized,
Organized.
even down to the production. I felt like it was different. So now we had done Eddie's in the US twice. And to be honest, the first one wasn't as great as because it was majorly
Iterating.
yeah, it was majorly the locals, and that time, I mean, to just not to go into so much details, but the next time that a few
Use.
of us went ourselves to manage, it was much better, it was much seamless, and we had a generally good show. So it was just that, even from the backstage, you're seeing how these things work.
You're like, my
You know,
God.
in Nigeria, you just create like 3 grill rooms. This one, like everybody has their own room. I mean, it's not a big deal. But for a
But
Nigerian outside Nigeria, it
it's
was,
also a
and that was
big
my
deal.
first time. It
Yeah.
was actually a big deal. So yeah, but stressing, what stressed me? Everything,
Well,
everything that made it come,
to
come.
come. Yes, it was like putting in the
Yeah,
work behind
yeah,
the
the
work.
work behind. Let's not forget that I was also having jet lag.
Yeah, yeah, that was
So
that. And
there
you had
was
to keep
that,
moving and
and
stuff.
yeah, but I think it's one experience I'm totally grateful for.
That's great. If you are watching this and you are still producing locally, I just want to tell you that your dreams are valid.
Yes, sir.
This wonderful sister here started from OAU,
Yeah,
shooting in new markets. If
I
you know
know.
new
Yes,
markets,
so I actually shot in new
yes, new
markets.
markets, shooting in new markets, and then she's doing things globally right now. So your dreams are valid. Great. So my next question is out of character. Out of character before because I barely asked my guest this, but I'm asking for you and then for whoever will be watching this that might have this. Two questions is word and opposite. One, and I'm asking both together so that you can choose which to answer first. Do you bask in your wins? And do you also have imposter syndrome?
I have imposter syndrome. I always have imposter syndrome. Definitely have
How do
like
you deal
very
with
big on
it?
imposter. So let me tell you, Aegis. So recently I was nominated for TFA.
Yeah, guys, she was nominated. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll post
The
the pictures and
imposter
everything.
syndrome was mad.
I'm like, why?
First of all, when they sent me the email, I texted someone. I'm like, I don't think I'm deserving of this thing. I don't know why they brought it to my table. like,
What have you
what have
done?
I done?
You've
Like,
done
to be
great
honest,
things, my
and
darling.
because I saw the people on the category who are doing very well,
Yeah.
and I'm like, the prize was for film, and I'm like, how many film I don't film, and then when I had to
But you've done ads.
yeah, the person was like, oh, even production, apparently the Eddies
Yes, Headies.
was
Yes,
one of
now.
the things that they also. I'm like, so I'm as in I reached out to not one, not two. In fact, let me tell you a secret. The day they announced, I didn't post it until
Yeah, I texted you now.
people posted
Yeah,
it
I
ahead
texted
of
you.
me.
Yes, we
It
all
was
posted
when
it.
people started to post
Post
it.
it.
I'm like,
Like, okay,
okay.
I have to post this
Yeah,
thing.
so I have in imposter syndrome, and not like I'm managing it because I know that it's not good.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not
That's
good.
why I brought you here, so that you come and sell your market.
It's not
Sell
good.
your market so that
It's
you
not
show
good.
up.
And
Guys, do you know what it means to produce like Headies back to back to back? And they were all excellent. Don't worry, some pictures will come up here. Yeah,
and
so
then do I banks in my wins? No, I don't.
yeah, so this is your time.
I don't banks
I
in
need
my.
you to take a deep breath right now. Yeah. You're an international producer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And maybe because I think it's good and bad. It's good because it helps me move forward. Like
Yeah,
I
like
learned,
you are moving to the
I
next
learned
thing.
that thing from a boss of mine, and he's someone that he doesn't back in his win. Like, which is good and bad because it helps you to move on to the next thing and doesn't help you depend on past glory, but helps you just move on to the next thing, build something better. I remember, so I just finished a production in Abuja a couple of weeks back, and we just as we finished, another brief came in, and I'm like, let's sleep now. and
Let's take a break.
and we're already like, okay, where are we? And I feel like it gives you a drive to do more, but also it's not bad to actually back in your
You
wings. And I
should.
think one of the things I do in order to back in my wings, which people do not see, is I take myself out a lot. Like
Yeah.
any restaurant
I
I'm
know
feeling,
that. Yeah.
I'm very
If you
big.
need the restaurant recommendation, maybe
I
I'll
am
ask her to share
like
some.
I don't post it out there, but and I buy something for myself. I tell myself, okay, from this is what I bought for myself, and this is it. Just helps me recognize that okay, I'm actually taking it in, and I just try to just close my eyes. I'm like, you did that.
That's lovely. Great. Great. Yeah, so because of people watching, I want you to share 2 or 3 career advice for those looking to get into media. Because the next question will also be career advice. But like for those looking to get into media, like
Okay, for me, I would say that you don't necessarily need to know what to do at this point. Let me explain that. What I mean is, for some people, because of we've said, oh, go and check out what your personality traits are, you would find yourself in between. The truth is, when I started producing, I didn't know I was producing. All I knew I was doing was
talk with Tola.
talk with Tola. And you have to also recognize that it's a metamorphosize into something else, right? And I know that because my very first job was in a content YouTube company. They just had YouTube shows, and what I just used to do was I'll just we'll create shows, come up with ideas. I did not necessarily know that it was producing. So I feel like it just I know
Take
that
that
this
first
is
step.
this is very cliche because people say it a lot. Take a first step. Another thing that I would advise is watch videos. There's something very powerful about images, right? Images with regards to things you see. One of the biggest ways I inspire myself is through images. So if I want to get into an earth space that I feel like I need to act very quickly, I just watch images. I just watch documentaries of things. I just check out things. I break down impossibilities in my mind because it can be very mental. So I feel images is very big, very key. If you're trying to, and it's how they say, oh, you want to buy a particular phone, before you know it, you start seeing that phone everywhere.
Yeah,
So
oh my
before you
God,
know it, in
yes,
making you
that's
put
true.
images in you just realize that things start coming out that you just start putting puzzles together. And another thing I would say, because you said 3, is trust yourself and trust the process. Last week I had a full circle moment, and I posted it recently. And what had happened was in 2017 when I was in OAU, and I think that was the first thing that brought us together,
Yeah, yeah.
Wimbies.
Oh my God, do you know I referenced you? I went to OAU yesterday. Yeah, as I went to Washington, I went to, and I referenced you in my speech. I talked about how you told a story that made Wimbis reach out to
Yeah.
you, and then you organized an event that filled
yeah,
Oduduwa. Yeah.
yeah. And in OAU, I was programs lead for Wimbies, and last week, and then I met this woman there because she was working in Wimbies as one of their heads and all that. And last week I met her again. This time she came on a show I was producing. It was such a full circle moment for me. But at that time, 7 years ago, I didn't even think of anything. So it's just to trust the process. Like I tell people a lot, and I'm trying not to do aspire to perspire.
No, but like these
But-
things are true. I tell people that like cliches are cliches because they're actually true.
Yeah, but
Maybe we hear them too much,
yeah,
but they're
because
true.
the truth is, if you're like context, the right thing, right? Everybody uses Google Maps, right? So if I'm going from point A to point B, when you start your engine, you've not seen point B, but you're just trusting that your Google Map will, sometimes it can take you where you don't know. But you're trusting that the
Google Map
will take you to where you're going to. So it's trusting the process. To be honest, you can see me producing today. What if I'm not going to be producing forever? I can be in another space, and it will be the knowledge I know in producing, and I'm in producing that will help me in the other space. Do you understand? So just trust the process. Try and do one or twos that is legal, Sha.
I like it. Great. So I feel like you've given this advice for people who don't start their career in media, and it sort of covers the next thing. So I'm going to ask a breaking question. Then I'm going to ask my next one, which is like a similitude of this. So my breaking question is, which would you rather shoot, shows or ads?
So I like ads.
Okay.
I like ads a lot, and I think maybe it's because of now that you're asking me, because all my life I've done more of live shows and a few ads. But recently, in the past couple of years, this month that we are shooting this, I shot 5 ads.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's very exciting for me. So now that we're shooting, definitely
that might change.
ads, yeah, because of the adrenaline. It's even the details of it. Like for a movie is very detailed, but they're both
very detailed.
Very detailed.
But like for ads, you have very short time to capture.
Yeah, you have very short time to a movie. You can say how are you?
If this scene is not good, the next scene will be okay.
But in ads, it's like back. So yeah. Definitely ads at that now, but God, live shows are definitely my babies. That's how I started.
Don't worry, she's not breaking your hand right now. Okay, great. So I know you've given general advice to people in media. So just one extra career advice for professionals generally.
Just go, I beg, no the wait. T-Pain is not waiting. Why should you wait?
That's so straight up and direct.
Why should you wait? And if it's not anything, just make sure it's legal, that you can put your name to it. Just a go, bro. I like it. Just do.
Move. Just do things.
Just do.
Great. I like it. So just don't relax. Just do things. Great. Yeah. So wrapping up this conversation, we're going to the last part. I know you're well traveled.
I know the way they talk. It seems that my passport. Your last guest is. I'm sure everything enter immigration. They say, you're here again. They've not started recognizing me like that.
No, we'll get there. But what are the top 2 favorite cities you've visited that you loved?
Kenya has to come on top of that list. Kenya,
good things about Kenya. God, please, I want to go to Kenya. Do this miracle for me too.
It was, and I think I like the US, DC.
Oh, DC specifically.
Yeah, DC. Because I've been to Maryland, I've been to DC, and I've been to Atlanta. DC definitely comes top on that list. And maybe because the time I went to DC was in Christmas. So it was just giving that, it was just very Christmassy.
I get it.
Yeah, but DC definitely comes top on that list.
Okay, great. Now that you visit a lot of restaurants, locally and globally, internationally.
Restaurants globally, I cannot remember their names.
Yeah, no, you're not mentioning names, don't worry. What are like 2 meals that stands out for you that I think we should try out? Or 2 meals you're obsessed about?
Recently, when I went to Abuja, I actually went to a place called Village Chief.
Village Chief. Okay.
And I tried their...
Free ad for them.
And I tried their oha soup.
Oh, wow.
It was so good.
Wow, interesting.
It was so, because I'm not even a fan of those types of soup, apart from the main.
If it's not amala,
if it's not, do you understand? Exactly, but and what other? So again, I don't try food when I travel because I'm very so. But in Lagos, it has to be coffee or a breakfast.
Oh, interesting. You're a breakfast girl. Yeah.
I'm a breakfast girl. Yeah, I'm a breakfast girl.
I am not. I cannot relate.
I
went to speak. You know where now? They are very big in hospitality. They brought me bread and egg, yam and egg, tea. I'm like, yeah.
I'm very big on breakfast. If you want to take
If it's not 2 p.m., I will not remember.
No, if you want... No, so that's the funny thing, I don't eat breakfast early. But then when I love breakfast.
Oh, great. So my penultimate question, by the way, I like to give this disclaimer. My last question is for you to ask me a question.
Which question can I ask you? Let's say we go cut. So I can think it through.
Okay, yeah. So my penultimate question, and I'm asking just because you're like a video person, is recommend a movie that my followers should watch. I will have said recommend a movie and a book, but...
I don't ask me about book.
But it can be a documentary, it can be a movie,
there's a book
it can be a video.
I read recently, not recently, like about 2 years ago. Something about 20s. I think we've
Oh
spoken
yeah,
about that
that
book.
was the one that recommended it to you. The Defining
The
Decade.
Defining
Oh my
Decade. That
God,
was
that book
such
is
a
award
good
winning.
book.
If you are
Yeah.
my follower, you are a
That book
subscriber,
was
you
so
must read
good.
that book.
Yeah, if this like we listen, we don't judge. If there's one book I've read to the end,
That's the only book.
that's
Are you
the only book.
serious?
Apart from audiobooks.
I feel like I'm an amazing friend right now. I force all my friends in their 20s to read that book. Meg J should recognize me. I'll write to her. Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, and there was an okay, but that was an
Yeah,
audiobook.
yeah.
A movie. Hey, I watched a lot of movies,
Yeah,
so
it's
it's hard
because of your work.
to.
So you can do two. If it's hard to pick one, maybe do two or three.
Home Alone.
Okay.
The reason for Home Alone was I watched. So there's a documentary on Netflix about how Home Alone was shot.
Oh, interesting.
Do you know that Home Alone was shot in a school assembly ground? Like they built the set from beginning to end. So when you see that house, it was not a real house.
Wow.
Like it was built from scratch to finish.
Now I feel like when I watch Home Alone again, I
You
watch
need
it with
to
different
like.
lens.
I actually went to watch the documentary. It was a friend of mine that recommended that. I can't not even. I think the title of the show on Netflix is Documentaries We Love or something.
Oh,
And
okay.
I watched Home Alone.
We'll find it and put the picture here, guys.
Yeah, it was so good. Definitely Home Alone.
Interesting.
And it was just about the creativity that went. And they also talked about how the story was almost taken down because they did not get money, finances, and all that.
Wow.
And how there was so much that happened on that movie that
Interesting.
before now it's
Now the
what
global. I'm
we
not sure that those that invested in it are so happy that
see.
they did.
It was funny enough. It was supposed to be for. I can't remember. I've watched this movie a long time ago. It was supposed to be for a particular movie production company, and they yanked out last minute.
So they had
Like
to
we
start
didn't
beginning
shoot.
to
They now
fund.
had to start again funding.
Wow.
So definitely yes.
I'm not sure that those people are biting their.
See, in fact, when you see the people that created that Home Alone now, they are.
Of course, we watch it every year.
We watch it. I watch
We
Home
watch
Alone every
It's
year.
already part of people's
Do
Christmas
you understand?
list.
It's already part of
Yeah,
So
great.
definitely
No,
Home Alone. That's the only one I can remember now.
That's lovely. That's fine. Great. Yeah. So the last question is for you to ask me a question.
Let me ask you one question.
You can do two.
No, I can do two.
Yeah.
One that comes.
Yeah.
If you were not doing what you do now, what would it be? What would you be doing?
So that question is very hard to answer because I already do a lot. So I am an HR manager. I am enjoying life
I
as a
mean,
YouTuber.
something entirely different.
That is not in the
Yeah,
frame
exactly.
of what I'm not
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
right now. I think that I will be a travelogue. You know, people that travel and journal.
Have you been asked this question before?
No, not in this variant. So I think I'll be a travelogue. So it's similar to what Alma is doing. Alma Sinobi, by the way,
Yeah.
for those. Alma Sinobi is my friend. Hopefully she's in Nigeria. I bring her to my YouTube one of these days. But like writing. So like I like to write stories. I write a lot, and I just think I love visuals. I love videos, but I just think that there's a way that also writing stories there's a way that's why we watch more movies and we still go back to the books because we love the books. So I think I'll be a like traveler, someone that travels and writes about places. So I'll probably like write about hotels, feature them in international magazines, write for global magazines, write for New Yorker, have a slot, like. And then I would not just travel to places, travel to unknown places. For example, one of the favorite places in Switzerland is Iseswad. It's spelled I-S-E-T. I'm always spelling it. The spelling will come up here. When people go to Switzerland, they talk about like Zurich, they talk about Bern. Nobody talks about Iseswad because it's just a lake. But that lake connects like 3 villages. And like it's like at the end of like 3 mountainous places.
Wow.
It's one of the most unique spaces. If you're a Korean person, you've watched like Crash Landing on You, I'm very sure you should know what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I'll go to like those local places. So when I go to France now, I would likely not go to Paris. I'll probably go to Bordeaux or Portmanteau. And you know, what does eating look like in Bordeaux or Nantes or yes, I think that's what I'll be doing.
My second question.
Okay.
People know you as a show-up guy
Yeah.
for people.
Yeah.
Tell me about one time you couldn't show up for people.
Ah! That one is hard. Okay,
And
so
what did you do?
public apology to Mercy family Lucy. I've not even sent her a message. One of my friends invited me for I've not had the boldness. Maybe after this I'll go and send her a message. Invited me for a wedding. And like I'd mentally prepared I'll go for that wedding. So 2 things. One, my fashion designer also had a wedding. So they both told me about the wedding, and I was praying to God Most High that I would be on the same weekend because it was in Accra. And I'm not in the mental
to
space to
travel
do
twice.
a road Not just I can't do a road trip right now. Like I'm really exhausted just because of how the last 3 months have been for me. So I was praying that they both pick the same weekend. Now they pick different weekend. So I had to apologize to my designer to say, hey, I won't be able to make a wedding because I honestly, genuinely planned to make Mercy's wedding. First, my probation at work was that period. Secondly, my WhatsApp chat cleared.
Oh.
And that was also a major lesson for me because after that, I just started putting weddings on calendars. So I didn't even remember that it was a wedding until 2 days. Me or Rashwebi. And Mercy has been a good friend. We've been friends since like 2016, 17, 18. So now I've missed her wedding. Yes, I have to text her. So that it hurts me a lot. I'm still thinking about what to do. I think maybe I'll just send her a lump sum of money. And like I'm still, because my plan was actually that I'll first buy the Ashwebi before I even figure out if I want to go for the wedding or not. At the Ashwebi, at your wedding, I could not
It
go.
happens,
Yeah,
sure.
so
It
so I
happens.
think that's one thing. Most times, like I stress myself to actually go, like show up for people. But that one, it was just because if my WhatsApp, even if I would not go, if my WhatsApp chat did not clear, at least one I'll be because I actually budgeted Ashwebi, all the Ashwebi, like I bought all of them down. Yeah, so that's what I did. So at least I bought the Ashwebi and I've informed her like well ahead that like I won't be able to make it ready. But at the Ashwebi, at the information. I know. Yeah, okay, great. Thank you very much, Tola, for coming.
Fola, do you call me Fola?
Tola.
Okay.
I should have thank you
I'm
very
like-
much. Thank you very much, Omotola. Let's call it a full. This is Tola's goofy face, guys. Yeah. So, any last word for anybody watching this?
I know the
Or
last
you
word.
know, get last word. Let's move. Last word. Watch.
Gbogbo wa la ma jẹ breakfast àsìkò ló yàtọ̀.
Oh, that's your last one.
But
Please, my last one is
maybe-
we are all going to make it. Wag me.
Or maybe my last word would be this favorite street church quote.
Yeah, what is it?
With the road dice.
Yeah,
God they bring
now God they
666.
bring 666. May God continue to bring 666 for us.
Amen.
If you've enjoyed this up to this place, please watch, like, subscribe.
Please enjoy it. This is my first time.
Yes,
second time
and
doing
please, I'm gonna
podcast.
link
I beg,
Tola's
please
detail,
subscribe
please.
so that we can start making money from YouTube.
Please. We have the goal 50,000 subscribers by 2029. That's the goal. One of my friends came and asked me the question. Where do I see this in 5 years?
50,000 is even small.
No,
you should do so
by 2029.
Yeah, maybe we should, when we wrap up, I can talk about YouTube small.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.